Every journey to greatness begins with something invisible yet unavoidable, testing. Before the doors of success swing open, there is always resistance. Before the reward, there is always a challenge, and before the crown, there is always a crucible. This is not an accident, and it is not cruelty. It is a universal law that no man or woman can escape. Life never grants achievement without first demanding proof of worthiness. That proof is revealed through the tests you face when you decide to rise above the ordinary. These tests come in the form of obstacles, delays, disappointments, and hardships, all designed to measure the depth of your hunger and the strength of your character. They do not exist to destroy you, but to strip away everything that does not belong to the person you are becoming. They are the silent guardians of the gate that separates mediocrity from mastery. It is easy to believe that success should come quickly, that talent and ambition alone should carry you to the top. But the truth is harsher and far more profound. No matter how gifted or skilled you are, without testing, you will never be prepared to hold onto the success you desire. The trials are placed in front of you for one reason: to transform you into someone capable of carrying the weight of greatness. If you are not tested, you will collapse under pressure the moment success arrives. The testing ground is not punishment, it is preparation. It is a stage designed to stretch your limits, sharpen your resolve, and forge your inner strength until it is impossible to be broken. Think about the nature of fire. When raw metal is first exposed to it, the flames do not destroy, it purifies, it removes weakness, it hardens the steel. The testing of life works the same way. You are placed under heat not to break, but to become stronger than you ever imagined. Without fire, the steel remains soft and easily bent. Without trials, the human spirit remains fragile, easily defeated by the smallest opposition. Every resistance you face is there to carve out the strongest version of you. Without the test, there would be no transformation, and without transformation, success would be temporary at best. That is why the hidden law of testing is unavoidable. You cannot cheat it. You cannot run from it. You cannot bypass it. Every person who has risen to greatness has walked through fire, endured storms, and passed trials that seemed impossible to overcome. The reason is simple: success must be protected. If it were handed freely, it would be squandered, wasted, and lost in the hands of the unprepared. But when it is earned through tests, it is cherished, guarded, and multiplied. The very obstacles that once felt like punishment become the foundation that makes the victory unshakable. Every time you face resistance, remember this truth: you are not being rejected, you are being refined. You are not being punished, you are being prepared. Life is asking you if you are truly worthy of the vision you carry in your heart. It is asking you to prove, not with words, but with endurance, that you deserve to rise above the masses. And once you understand this hidden law, your entire perspective shifts. Instead of fearing challenges, you begin to welcome them. Instead of collapsing under pressure, you begin to grow stronger because of it. You realize that the very test standing in your way is the confirmation that success is waiting on the other side. The hidden law of testing is not here to stop you. It is here to reveal you. It is here to expose whether your dreams are shallow desires or burning obsessions. It is here to separate the weak from the strong, the half-hearted from the committed, and the dreamers from the doers. The test before success is life's way of protecting greatness, and if you endure it, if you walk through it, you prove to yourself and to the world that nothing can stop you from claiming what is yours. That is why the test must always come before the triumph. It is the only way to ensure that when success arrives, you are not only ready to receive it, you are ready to sustain it. Nothing valuable is ever placed into unprepared hands, and that is why every test appears before achievement. Life does not hand out great rewards to those who have not first proven they can carry the weight of them. If riches, power, or influence were given to someone without discipline, patience, and strength of will, those very blessings would destroy them. That is why struggle always comes first. It is life's way of demanding an answer to a simple but powerful question: Do you truly deserve this? Until you demonstrate resilience, until you show unwavering commitment, the prize remains hidden. This is the law that governs every journey of transformation. What you desire is not withheld from you forever, but it is delayed until you have earned the right to hold it. The tests themselves may take many forms. Sometimes they arrive as failure, when every effort you pour into a goal seems to vanish without reward. Sometimes they appear as rejection, when the world refuses to acknowledge your talent or your effort. At other times they show up as endless waiting, where nothing seems to move forward and every day feels like a battle against time. These experiences are not accidents. They are deliberate steps of preparation, designed to push you to the edge of quitting so that you can prove that quitting is not in your nature. They are there to show you to yourself, to reveal the strength you might not even realize you carry. Without these tests, success would not only be meaningless, it would be short-lived. There is a dangerous illusion in believing that success should come without resistance. If it did, it would collapse the moment pressure was applied. Think of a building that is constructed without testing its foundation. It may look beautiful from the outside, but the first storm will tear it down. Your trials are building your foundation. They are creating in you the endurance to handle storms, the focus to resist distraction, and the clarity to stay aligned with your true vision. That is why the test always comes first. It is shaping you into someone unshakable. Without it, the reward would become a curse, a fleeting gift that slips away as quickly as it arrives. When you begin to understand this principle, your relationship with challenges transforms. You no longer see them as unfair punishments, but as necessary steps in the process of becoming who you must be. You begin to realize that every difficulty is proof that you are on the path to something significant. The test itself is confirmation of the value of the reward. The greater the struggle, the greater the proof that what you are moving toward carries immense importance. This is why only those who endure reach the finish line. Life does not ask for perfection. It asks for persistence. It asks for patience. It asks for the courage to keep walking when the path feels endless. When you give these things, when you prove through action and endurance that you are worthy, then and only then will the doors of success swing open. That is the unbreakable truth. Every prize worth having demands that the test comes first. Just as fire hardens steel, resistance hardens the spirit. Every obstacle you face is not just an annoyance to be endured. It is a sculptor shaping you into someone greater. If you imagine a life without difficulty, without resistance, you would imagine a life without growth. Muscles only grow under tension. Diamonds are only formed under pressure. Greatness is only born in the presence of resistance. It is through the struggle against difficulty that your true strength is revealed. Without resistance, you would remain soft, untested, and unprepared. But every obstacle that stands in your way is an opportunity for growth, an invitation to step into a higher version of yourself, and a chance to prove that nothing can break you. When resistance arrives, it does not feel like a gift. It feels heavy, it feels unfair, it feels like the world is pushing against you. But that very push is what builds your endurance. Each moment you fight back against the weight pressing down on you, you are becoming stronger than you were yesterday. Every time you stand back up after being knocked down, your spirit grows tougher. Every time you refuse to surrender, your willpower sharpens. Resistance is not here to stop you, it is here to forge you. It is not an enemy, but a hidden ally, disguising itself as struggle while secretly preparing you for victory. Think of those who achieved lasting success. They were not handed it freely. They endured resistance that seemed unbearable. They walked through rejection, failure, and obstacles that could have broken them. Yet each time, the resistance they faced only made them more capable of handling the weight of success when it finally came. Without that struggle, they would not have had the strength to hold on to what they achieved. Resistance is a teacher, and though its lessons are harsh, they are the only lessons that prepare you for greatness. Without them, victory would have no meaning and no permanence. Resistance also reveals your commitment. When the path is smooth, it is easy to keep walking. Anyone can pursue a dream when the way is clear. But when the road becomes difficult, when every step feels like a battle, that is when your true level of desire is revealed. Shallow ambition collapses under resistance. Deep hunger grows stronger because of it. Every obstacle is life asking, "Do you truly want this?" And every time you push through, you answer with your actions, proving that your desire is not fragile, but unbreakable. Resistance sharpens your hunger until it burns with such intensity that nothing can extinguish it. This is why resistance is not your enemy. It is the very force that separates those who only dream from those who achieve. It transforms vision into reality, weakness into strength, and ordinary people into extraordinary leaders. The more resistance you face, the more powerful you become, and the more unshakable your foundation grows. Embrace it, because every moment of resistance you endure is preparing you for a success so great. It could only be given to someone who has proven they cannot be broken. The delay before success is never wasted time. It may feel like you are waiting endlessly, pushing forward with no visible reward, but what seems like a pause is actually preparation. Life delays your success not to deny you, but to shape you into someone who can carry it with strength. Every delay is a classroom. It teaches patience, it humbles pride, and it sharpens vision. If success arrived instantly, without the waiting, without the struggle, it would be fragile. It would rest in the hands of someone unprepared and collapse at the first challenge. The delay exists to ensure that when success does come, it does not destroy you, it sustains you. During the delay, you are forced to confront your weaknesses. The waiting period strips away arrogance, laziness, and entitlement. It forces you to dig deep into yourself and discover the discipline and resilience that ordinary life would never demand. It is in the season of delay that your foundation is strengthened, your habits are refined, and your endurance is tested. While you may see nothing changing on the surface, within you a transformation is taking place. Each day of waiting builds invisible strength, and that strength will be the very thing that holds your success in place when it finally arrives. The truth is that delay protects you. If you were given what you want before you are ready, it would overwhelm you. The wealth, the recognition, the power, all of it would slip away because your character had not yet been refined enough to sustain it. Think of a tree planted in shallow soil. If it grows too quickly, the roots cannot support the weight, and it falls with the first strong wind. The delay allows your roots to go deep, to anchor you in discipline, patience, and resilience, so that when your branches finally spread wide with success, nothing can uproot you. It is easy to mistake delay for denial. It is easy to believe that because your vision has not yet manifested, it will never arrive. But that is the illusion of impatience. Life is not saying no, it is saying not yet. The waiting season is building qualities in you that cannot be rushed. Just as fruit cannot ripen in an instant, success cannot mature without time. The delay is proof that your destiny is significant. Life only invests long preparation into those who are meant to carry something great. The greater the destiny, the longer the preparation. The longer the delay, the stronger the foundation being laid. So instead of fighting the delay, trust it. Every day that feels wasted is not wasted at all. It is working for you. The waiting is molding you into someone capable of standing tall when success comes. The delay is the silent architect of your destiny. And when the right moment finally arrives, you will not only receive your success, you will be unshakable in holding it, because the delay has already prepared you to handle it with strength, wisdom, and endurance. Every test you face is designed to ask one question: how badly do you want it? Desire is the fuel of every achievement, and without it, no amount of talent, intelligence, or opportunity will carry you forward. When obstacles rise and the path becomes difficult, Shallow desires vanish. They collapse under pressure, revealing that they were nothing more than fleeting wishes. But deep desire, the kind that burns like fire in your soul, grows stronger when tested. It refuses to surrender even when logic says to quit. It does not bend, it does not break, and it does not fade away in the darkness of struggle. It only burns brighter, demanding action, demanding perseverance, demanding victory. This is why life places barriers in your way. They are not punishments, but measurements. They measure the intensity of your hunger. They reveal whether your vision is just a casual thought or a burning obsession. Anyone can claim they want success when the journey is easy, but only true desire keeps you walking when the road is long, when the nights are heavy, and when progress feels invisible. The test strips away the pretenders, the half-hearted, and the dreamers who speak loudly but act weakly. Only those whose desire is deep enough to endure suffering remain standing. True desire is never silenced by rejection. It does not die in the face of failure. It does not vanish when rewards are delayed. Instead, it grows sharper. Every failure becomes fuel. Every rejection becomes motivation. Every delay becomes a reason to fight harder. This is the difference between those who quit and those who rise. Quitting is always an option for the weak, but it never even enters the mind of the hungry. The one with burning desire sees no alternative but to continue forward, no matter how steep the climb, no matter how endless the path may seem. The depth of your desire also shapes the size of your destiny. Small desires produce small victories. Casual ambition produces average results, but the one who carries a deep, unstoppable hunger attracts opportunities, resources, and strength that others never see. Desire acts like a magnet, pulling into your life the conditions necessary to fulfill it. Life itself bends in favor of the one who refuses to let go of what they want. The intensity of your desire becomes the energy that breaks barriers, the force that commands persistence, and the fire that carries you through when nothing else is left. So, when you are tested, do not see it as cruelty. See it as proof that your desire is being weighed. See it as life asking if you are truly ready to sacrifice, endure, and continue. If your desire is weak, the test will break you. But if your desire is unshakable, the test will only confirm your destiny. That is why you must protect it, feed it, and keep it alive even when nothing seems to move. Because in the end, the strength of your desire is the ultimate proof that you are worthy of the success you seek. At the heart of every test lies a choice, and that choice is always the same: quit or continue. The path to success narrows into this battle, and it does not matter how talented you are, how intelligent you may be, or how many resources you hold in your hands. If you choose to quit, everything ends there. Quitting is the easy option, the comfortable path, the way of surrender. It whispers promises of relief, telling you that if you stop pushing, the struggle will finally end. But what quitting does not reveal is the cost. It steals the dream you once carried, it buries the fire that once burned, and it chains you to a life of regret. Quitting ends the pain of struggle, yes, but it begins the greater pain of never knowing what could have been. Continuing, on the other hand, is never easy. It is the path of resistance, the road that demands endurance when you feel empty. To continue is to face the voice of doubt inside your own mind and silence it with action. It is to stand up when every part of you is screaming to stay down. It is to move forward even when progress feels invisible and the reward feels far away. Continuing requires courage that quitting will never demand, because it asks you to believe in yourself without guarantees, to keep moving without certainty, and to hold faith when everything around you tells you to let go. Every test places you at this fork in the road. Life is not judging your talent, it is watching your decision. Most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they choose the wrong path at this very moment. They choose to quit when the struggle becomes heavy, when rejection stings, when failure repeats itself. They walk away from the fire not realizing that just one more step forward, one more day of persistence, one more act of faith could have unlocked the very breakthrough they were waiting for. Quitting blinds them to the truth that success was never far away. It was just hidden behind one last test of endurance. The ones who continue prove something powerful. They show that they are willing to pay the price. They demonstrate that their dream means more to them than comfort, more than safety, more than the temporary relief of giving up. Every step they take beyond the point where others quit makes them rarer, stronger, and more prepared for the destiny waiting ahead. Continuing may be painful, but that pain builds strength. Quitting may feel easy, but that ease builds weakness. The decision between the two paths is not just a momentary choice. It is the dividing line between greatness and mediocrity, between victory and regret. So when you stand at that crossroads, remember that quitting ends your journey forever, but continuing keeps your dream alive. The test is not asking for perfection. It is asking whether you have the will to keep walking. If you choose to endure, no matter how heavy the burden feels, you are already winning the greatest battle of all, the battle against surrender. And the one who wins this battle is the one who will always reach success, because no obstacle in life can defeat a spirit that refuses to quit. Pain has always been the great gatekeeper of growth. It stands before every dream, every achievement, every moment of transformation, demanding to know if you are willing to endure its fire. Most people see pain as an enemy, as something to run from, avoid, and resist at all costs. But pain is not there to destroy you, it is there to shape you. It is the sculptor of strength, the teacher of discipline, the chisel that carves out weakness and reveals resilience. Without pain, there is no growth, no depth, no true greatness. Comfort may feel good, but it never changes you. Only pain has the power to transform your character and prepare you for something greater than the life you know now. When you encounter pain, it is natural to ask, why me? Why now? Why is this so difficult? But if you look deeper, you realize that pain is never random. It arrives with purpose. It arrives to stretch you beyond the limits you thought were permanent. It arrives to teach you lessons that success could never teach on its own. Success soothes, but pain strengthens. Success celebrates, but pain builds. Success rewards, but pain refines. Without the refining process of struggle, you would remain fragile, easily broken by the first setback. Pain is not your punishment. It is your preparation. It is the price that must be paid before you can hold something greater than yourself. The truth is that no one escapes this test. Every person who has risen to greatness has walked through seasons of pain that could have crushed them. But instead of running, they leaned into the struggle, allowing it to forge qualities they could not have developed any other way. Pain teaches you how to be patient when everything inside you wants to rush. It teaches you humility when pride tries to take control. It teaches you endurance when giving up feels easier. These lessons are not given in classrooms, nor are they written in books. They are only delivered in the crucible of suffering, where the weak are broken and the strong are made unshakable. What makes pain so powerful is its ability to reveal what you are truly made of. Anyone can smile when life is easy. Anyone can remain confident when victories flow effortlessly. But when pain presses against you, when it feels like everything is falling apart, that is when the truth is revealed. Do you collapse or do you rise? Do you retreat into excuses or do you push forward with determination? Pain removes all masks and pretenses. It exposes your raw self, your true strength, your real hunger. And if you endure, it will leave behind a version of you that is unrecognizable, stronger, wiser, and more capable than you ever imagined. So do not curse pain, do not run from it or treat it as an enemy. See it for what it is, the gatekeeper standing at the entrance of your destiny. It will not move aside for the weak, but it will open its gates for the one who dares to endure. Every ounce of suffering you bear is proof that something greater is being prepared for you. And once you understand this, pain loses its power to break you. Instead, it becomes the very force that builds you into someone unstoppable. What most people call setbacks are rarely what they appear to be. On the surface, they look like failure, like proof that the dream is slipping away, like undeniable evidence that all effort has been wasted. But life is never that simple. What seems like a setback is often a disguise, a lesson hidden beneath frustration, a redirection masquerading as defeat. The illusion of setbacks is that they appear final, but in truth they are transitions. They are the bridge between who you are now and who you must become. If you look closely, you will see that every time life has stopped you, it has been positioning you for something greater, something you could not yet see. The illusion is powerful because in the moment of loss, pain is real. You cannot always see beyond the disappointment, the rejection, or the apparent failure. The mind tells you that you have wasted your time, that your effort has meant nothing, that you should turn back. But this is the test within the test. Can you see beyond the illusion? Can you hold faith in the unseen? For often the very path that feels like it has ended is only bending in a new direction, leading you toward an opportunity that could never have been reached had you not been stopped first. What you call a setback may actually be a form of protection, keeping you from doors that would have weakened you, and guiding you toward doors that will strengthen you. Those who quit at the sight of setbacks never discover the truth behind them. They see only the surface and walk away believing they have failed. But those who endure learn the secret. Setbacks are not walls, they are mirrors. They reflect back your patience, your determination, and your faith. They show you who you really are when progress disappears. And if you continue, if you refuse to be fooled by the illusion, you realize that what felt like a loss was actually a hidden step forward. The detour you did not want may turn out to be the very path that takes you exactly where you need to go. Greatness demands the ability to look at setbacks differently. Instead of cursing them, you must learn to interpret them. Instead of treating them as permanent defeats, you must see them as temporary disguises. Life often gives its greatest gifts wrapped in the paper of struggle and delay. If you are too quick to judge the package, you will miss the treasure inside. What feels like rejection may actually be redirection. What looks like a door closing may be preparing you for a much greater door opening. And what appears to be failure may in reality be the training ground that develops the exact strength you will need for the victory ahead. So the next time you face a setback, do not be deceived by the illusion. Pause and look deeper. Ask yourself what lesson is being hidden within this moment, what strength is being demanded, what direction you are being pointed toward. Refuse to see it as the end, because the truth is that setbacks are never the end, they are the refining pauses before acceleration. The illusion will always try to convince you that you are finished, but the reality is that you are being prepared. If you can embrace this truth, setbacks will never again hold the power to defeat you. They will only serve as proof that you are still on the path to something far greater than you can yet imagine. Strength is not something you stumble upon. It is something you forge like steel in fire. The mind becomes strong not by comfort, but by pressure, not by ease, but by resistance. To build a mind of steel, you must first understand that every challenge is a weight meant to be lifted. Every obstacle is resistance designed to grow your endurance. Every hardship is a forge, heating your spirit until you can no longer be broken. A weak mind collapses under pressure, but a steel mind thrives in it. A weak mind fears the storm, but a steel mind knows storms are the training ground of champions. When you decide to no longer run from difficulty, but instead embrace it, you step into the process of building a mind that cannot be shaken. This process is not glamorous. It requires sacrifice. It requires discipline. It requires the ability to keep showing up even when you do not feel like it, even when the results are invisible, even when everything in you screams to stop. Most people give up because they expect results to come quickly, but steel is not forged in an instant. It must endure the furnace, the hammer, the repeated blows of fire and force before it becomes unbreakable. Your mind is the same. Every time you keep going when you want to quit, you are hammering yourself into something stronger. Every time you discipline your thoughts when they want to spiral, you are hardening the steel. Every time you choose focus instead of distraction, persistence instead of laziness, courage instead of fear, you are building the architecture of a mind that nothing can destroy. A mind of steel is not built by avoiding pain. It is built by walking directly into it and deciding that you will not be consumed by it. Life will test you with loss, rejection, and failure. If you crumble under these, your mind remains soft. But if you face them head on, if you take the blows and continue moving, your mind adapts. It grows sharper, tougher, more resilient. Soon the very things that once terrified you become insignificant. You begin to notice that what used to break you now barely shakes you. That is the sign of transformation, the evidence that your mind has crossed the threshold from fragile to indestructible. Building the mind of steel is a lifelong process. It does not end. Just as steel must remain strong against rust and corrosion, your mind must remain vigilant against doubt, negativity, and fear. The moment you relax, weakness creeps back in. That is why you must live with discipline as your foundation. Your routines, your habits, your thoughts, these are the daily fires that keep the steel from cooling into weakness. When you choose growth over comfort, purpose over distraction, and persistence over excuses, you are not just surviving life, you are forging a weapon within yourself that no circumstance can defeat. A mind of steel is not a gift. It is the result of fire, pressure, and relentless refusal to quit. When you commit to this path, you will discover that nothing outside of you can ever be stronger than what you have built inside. There comes a point in your journey where desire is no longer enough. Wanting success, wishing for transformation, craving freedom. These are the sparks that ignite the beginning. But sparks alone cannot carry you through the storm. They must grow into fire. Many people remain stuck in the endless cycle of wanting. They speak about what they wish for, they imagine what life could be, they daydream about the future they hope will appear. But life does not reward those who only want, life rewards those who become. There is a shift that must happen deep within you, a shift where you stop identifying as someone waiting for change and start living as if the change has already been written into your very identity. When this shift happens, the difference is immediate. You no longer say, "I want success." You say, "I am success in motion." You no longer say, "I hope to be disciplined." You live as if discipline is already carved into your bones. The reason this shift is so powerful is because the mind cannot hold two conflicting identities at once. If you keep telling yourself that you want success, your mind believes that you currently lack it. And if you live in lack, you continue to act in ways that reinforce lack. You hesitate, you doubt, you procrastinate. You search outside yourself for the answers. But when you claim the identity of someone who is already becoming the very thing you seek, your actions align with that truth. You stop procrastinating because success is not something you wait for. It is something you embody. You stop doubting because your mind is no longer arguing with itself about who you are. You stop hesitating because every action becomes an extension of your identity. You see, wanting is external. Becoming is internal. Wanting looks forward and says, "Someday." Becoming looks within and says, "Now." This transformation is not about pretending or faking. It is about stepping into alignment with the version of yourself that already exists within you. That vision you hold in your mind, the stronger, wealthier, wiser, more disciplined you, is not a fantasy. It is a blueprint. It is a potential that exists in your subconscious, waiting for you to accept it as real. The shift from wanting to becoming is simply the act of accepting that this version of you is already alive and choosing to live from that truth today, not tomorrow. Every thought you think, every choice you make, every action you take is then guided by that identity. If you want to become disciplined, you stop waiting for motivation and begin acting as the disciplined person would act. If you want to become successful, you stop chasing shortcuts and begin operating with the patience, persistence, and vision of someone who already carries success within them. The world bends not to your wishes, but to your certainty. When you merely want, you emit uncertainty. But when you embody, when you become, When you live as if the outcome is inevitable, everything begins to align. Opportunities appear where you once saw none. Strength arises where you once felt weak. Clarity replaces confusion, and action replaces hesitation. This is the shift that separates dreamers from achievers. Dreamers wait, achievers become. If you want to see your life transform, stop waiting for success to arrive. Become the success you seek. Breathe it, walk it, live it, until there is no longer a gap between who you are and who you want to be. The moment you cross that line, you will find that success is no longer something you chase. It is something you naturally attract because you have already become the person worthy of it. Every test you face in life carries within it something hidden, something not seen on the surface. At first glance, it looks like a problem, a setback, or even punishment. But if you dare to look deeper, you will see that every test is a gift in disguise. Life never wastes pain. Struggles are not placed in your path to destroy you, but to reveal to you the strength you would never have known otherwise. When you are tested, what is really happening is that life is giving you an opportunity to rise above the level you have been living on. The challenge is not against you, it is for you. It is an invitation to grow, to stretch, to sharpen the tools inside you that comfort could never develop. When you shift your perspective and start seeing every trial as a hidden blessing, your entire relationship with difficulty changes. You no longer run from the test, you welcome it, because you know it carries the gift of transformation. The truth is, tests carry lessons that no book, no advice, and no teacher can give you. They shape you in ways words cannot. They teach you resilience, discipline, courage, and faith, not by telling you about them, but by forcing you to practice them. You cannot claim patience without wading through delays. You cannot claim strength without carrying weight. You cannot claim persistence without walking through rejection. The test gives you the stage where these qualities are born. That is why the very thing you often curse becomes the very thing that builds your destiny. The harder the test, the greater the gift hidden inside. You may not see it immediately. In the middle of pain, all you feel is pressure. But when you look back, you realize that without those exact moments, you would never have developed the depth, wisdom, or character you now carry. The test was the gift. Recognizing this truth creates power. Instead of collapsing under pressure, you begin to ask, what is this teaching me? What is this trying to unlock in me? That question turns despair into clarity. It transforms suffering into purpose. Suddenly, you see that life is not punishing you. It is preparing you. The setbacks are rehearsals, sharpening your focus. The failures are refinements, removing what is weak and leaving only what is strong. The waiting seasons are hidden trainings, building your patience and endurance for what is coming. Every test is tailored, designed to expose the weaknesses you must overcome in order to rise into the future waiting for you. If you fail to see the gift, you repeat the test, but if you recognize the gift, you elevate to the next level. And this is the secret few realize. The greatest treasures of life are always disguised as trials. Wealth hides behind risk. Wisdom hides behind mistakes. Growth hides behind discomfort. Success hides behind failure. When you finally see the pattern, when you finally accept that the test itself is the path, you stop resisting and start embracing. You take each difficulty as a sign that you are being prepared for more. The gift inside the test is always greater than the pain it carries. Those who endure with this mindset unlock doors that others never even see, because where most run from the fire, you walk through it knowing that on the other side lies the strength, wisdom, and greatness that could not have been born any other way. There comes a moment in every journey where everything changes, a moment where all the pain, effort, and persistence finally collide to create something extraordinary. This moment is what many call the breakthrough. It often arrives quietly, not with the sound of trumpets or applause, but in a simple shift inside you, a realization that you are no longer the same person who first began the climb. You have been tested, pushed, and refined so deeply that what once felt impossible now feels natural. Breakthroughs are rarely sudden miracles. They are the inevitable result of refusing to quit, the reward for every step you took when you wanted to stop, the outcome of discipline practiced in silence when no one was watching. You may not always notice the exact moment when it happens, but one day you look back and realize that the door you had been knocking on for years has finally opened, not because it suddenly became easier, but because you became the person capable of opening it. What makes the breakthrough so powerful is that it never happens by accident. It is the product of accumulated effort, each small act of persistence stacking on top of the last until the weight is enough to shatter the barrier in front of you. Most people give up too early, quitting just before the wall begins to crack. They cannot see that the pressure they are applying is working, even if results are invisible. But those who keep pressing, those who keep enduring through the silence, eventually reach the tipping point where all the resistance collapses. And when it does, it feels as though the universe itself was waiting to reward your faith. Opportunities that were hidden suddenly appear. People you needed to meet begin crossing your path. Doors that were shut now swing open. What seemed impossible becomes reality, not because the world changed, but because you did. The moment of breakthrough is more than achievement. It is transformation. It changes the way you see yourself forever. Before the breakthrough, you doubt. You question whether you are worthy, whether you are capable, whether the vision in your heart is even possible. But after the breakthrough, those doubts vanish. You no longer wonder if you can, you know you can, because you have lived it. You no longer see obstacles as threats, but as stepping stones, because you now understand they always precede progress. The fear that once held you back loses its grip, and in its place grows unshakable confidence. This is why the breakthrough is more valuable than the goal itself. It alters who you are at the core. And once you taste that moment, once you realize the power of persistence, you will never approach life the same way again. You will understand that every wall can be broken, every mountain can be climbed, every dream can be made real, if only you are willing to endure long enough to reach the breaking point. Breakthroughs are not accidents. They are promises kept to those who refuse to surrender, who believe even when nothing around them shows hope, who act with faith even when the path is hidden. And when that moment finally arrives, when the barrier shatters, you will see that the struggle was not a curse. It was the very thing that made you unshakable, unstoppable, and ready to hold the success that is now in your hands. Success is not given to those who wish for it. It is not handed to those who merely hope or dream. Success bows only to those who endure. Endurance is the quiet force that outlasts pain, silence, rejection, and doubt. It is the ability to keep moving when everything inside you screams to stop. It is the refusal to surrender when progress feels invisible, when days blur into nights and nights into days without reward. Most people never taste success because they cannot endure long enough. They confuse temporary struggle with permanent failure. They walk away at the very moment the breakthrough is about to arrive. But those who endure, those who remain when others walk away, those who keep faith alive in the darkest nights, these are the ones who life crowns with success. Endurance is the proof of desire. Endurance is the bridge between vision and reality. Endurance is the fire that separates the few who rise from the many who fall. To endure means to hold steady through storms that were designed to test whether your dream was shallow or deep. If your desire is shallow, the winds of difficulty will uproot it. But if your desire runs deep, every storm only strengthens it. Endurance is the act of saying, I will not stop, no matter how long it takes. It is patience in motion, persistence clothed in action. The truth is, endurance is not glamorous. It is often lonely. It demands sacrifice. It forces you to let go of comfort, of excuses, of instant gratification. But it is also endurance that creates champions. Every empire built, every legacy left, every great victory recorded in history was born from endurance. Without it, success is a fantasy. With it, success becomes inevitable. The reward of endurance is not only the goal itself, it is the person you become along the way. In enduring, you build strength you never thought you had. You develop patience that keeps you calm in chaos. You grow wisdom that allows you to see opportunities others miss. You learn persistence that carries you through every future storm. By the time success arrives, you realize that the true treasure was not the destination, but the transformation. The wealth you gain, the recognition you receive, the freedom you enjoy. These are reflections of the inner wealth, recognition, and freedom you already created within yourself by enduring. The outer world only mirrors the victory that endurance built inside you, so understand this. Success is not a matter of luck or chance or timing. Success is the reward for endurance. It is the crown placed on the heads of those who refuse to quit, the prize for those who prove they will not be broken. If you want success, prepare to endure. Prepare to be tested, stretched, and refined. Prepare to walk paths where others turn back. And if you endure, if you stay through the fire, if you refuse to give up, success will not only come, it will bow to you. Because success respects endurance, success is the natural conclusion of a spirit that never surrendered.